Welcome to the Venus and Mars Show, and we are happy to have you here with us. I'm Peter, or Mars.
And I'm Ann, Venus.
In this segment, we will be talking about driverless cars and how they might change everything.
We also have Allie Danielle Marshall. She's going to be our guest today, and she will be telling us about her very impressive journey in acting and modeling.
And as always, we wrap up with a special community acknowledgement. Okay, we want to talk about driverless cars, and by 2021 they say they're going to be here. Can you believe it?
No.
I mean, when I was a kid, I thought of maybe robots being around, but I have to be honest with you, I never thought about driverless cars.
I'm a little bit scared about it.
Yeah, well, let's talk about, there's a lot of ramifications that could be far-reaching if these actually take hold. Now, 2021, it's 2017 right now. They're saying by 4 years we're going to see a fair amount of driverless cars on the road. Not all, just, there's going to be a mix of people driving and driverless cars. But the first thing that they're touting is safety. Now, a lot of people are very nervous about a driverless car and probably have good reason to be. I know it's going to be kind of weird to be, nobody's in control and seeing it drive. But the facts are these. 94% of accidents have been attributed on a consistent basis to human error. So what's that saying is that out of 100 accidents that used to happen, there's now only going to be 6. That in itself should be very reassuring to people. Would you not agree? I mean, you're talking about...
I don't want to agree until I have some
I'm just
real
talking
hard...
about based on these numbers.
Those numbers can lie here, there. You can make them work however you want them to.
Let's just say they're true, though.
If they are true and that's the stats, then I'd feel pretty comfortable.
Well, believe me, I understand how you feel. I'm the same way. It's just that 94% reduction in accidents because you're going to eliminate the human factor. There's some other benefits here. No more drunk driving. Nobody has to drive. You can get in the car and let it drive you home.
I have 2 teenagers in driver's ed right now. Would it eliminate that?
Eliminate what?
Driver's ed and
licenses.
licenses.
Yeah, no, we're going to get back into that. That's
okay.
one of the cons. We're going to talk about the pros.
Yeah.
It's going to eliminate drunken driving. It'll also eliminate driving to endanger and road rage. You can't have road rage because think about these cars. The way I take it is that it's like when they come into a highway and join it, it's like a communal subway. Everything's moving at the same rate. Nobody's passing anybody.
Oh.
There is no aggression.
Well, until you get rid of the human factor when the conversion happens.
Oh yeah, I'm sort of talking in the pure model of all driverless cars.
Well,
okay?
that's a good way to go because when you have the 2 hybrids mixed together, they're not working at the same.
I, for one, could support, personality being taken off the road. There's no room for personality. Unfortunately, we see a lot of that. Aggression, you see road rage. But these things will be removed. I mean, they will. They will not be a factor. Faster speeds. We can go a lot faster with them, safer. There's no reason why we might not have 90 or 100 mile an hour on the same sort of roads that we have now because it's not being controlled by people, distracted, don't have the reflexes, whatever the reason.
Keeping the correct distance, right. Yeah.
There will also be, in theory, no traffic jams, ever.
How can that be? Because
everything works as one base. It's being controlled by computers. So all the movements everywhere, miles away, are all being done in sync. So it may slow down,
right,
but it won't stop.
I mean, this is starting to sound pretty good.
Well, in theory.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Again, these are just opinions now here. This is what I've read and kind of my thinking about how it would work. Maybe it's wishful thinking, idealistic, but it would be the natural course, I think, for it to go if it really takes hold. Another thing that would be a benefit to us would be you have more time to read or do work or sleep, whatever it is, while you're traveling. You don't have to control the car at all. Don't have to do it.
Is there emergencies like a driver's ed teacher where you could, if you had to?
We will get into that.
Okay.
Okay. Very soon.
What does that do for police?
Well, yeah, but and again, we'll get into that.
Okay.
Parking. You can have the car drop you off and don't have to spend time worrying about parking. It'll go find its own parking spot.
Love that
and
idea.
then it'll come back for you.
Oh,
The other thing that's really nice is that car ownership, a large percentage of people won't have to own cars. They'll only have to own them, or I should say, they'll only need them and they can summon them to their house. Just like you'd go on the internet, call a phone and said, I need not a taxi, because you might need it on a regular basis, and you would be charged whatever that cost. So you may figure out, I only need a car 50 times a year. Well, it beats it sitting in the driveway and paying insurance on when you don't need it. So
yeah.
That's another advantage. But not all is wonderful with this. There's a lot of things that could be negative and would take some getting used to.
Let's hear them.
All right. Well,
because my
one
mind
of the
is
things
racing.
is, and they have admitted this, there are unique driving situations and conditions. I know I read somewhere that they're having a problem with something on the, some sort of, not a transmitter, but something when it rains too heavily, it kind of fogs things up.
Like DirecTV almost? You get
Yeah,
that bad
whatever
signal
like
when
that.
it's
And,
snowing?
Yeah, and if there is an accident, which there can be, they're not sure about, and I say this, they're not really sure how these will play out, if the cars are going to be able to really negotiate.
So that goes back to the old rule of thumb, don't ever be the guinea pig, if you will, for the first year of a new car, the first year of, electronics, because you pay through the nose and it isn't perfected.
Yeah, and you could pay with your life.
Right.
I mean, that's a lot of people are going to, be worried about. Well, let's talk about insurance. That's a crazy one, because who's at fault?
That's
You,
what I was thinking.
the owner.
You're not driving.
Right, you're not driving. The car manufacturer. How about the software developer who wrote the software to control these things?
And then you're put the added advantage of people being able to civilly sue too.
True, but again, the insurance is a really gray issue. Who's at fault? You're not driving it, so
Crazy.
Something that has to definitely be thought out. Now, towns are definitely going to lose out. They're going to lose out on ticket revenue. Police will not be writing out any tickets. They will be a thing of the past. No more speeding, no more reckless driving to endanger. None of that. It's all gone. It's all gone. It's gone. It would not happen. What would you ticket?
There'd have to be another source of revenue somewhere.
Well, they'll have to live without it.
Yeah.
Insurance companies, too. We were talking about, I didn't stress this point, personal injury lawyers. There's another one that may suffer greatly. These ambulance chasers.
Yes. I wouldn't be sad to see that
No.
go.
Gasoline. Most of these cars, they predict, will be electric. The gasoline industry could suffer greatly. And let's talk about jobs for a second. Job losses, trucking, 18-wheelers going all that. There will not be any
Don't
truck
even
drivers.
tell me. Oh my Lord.
Uber, taxis, bus drivers, gone. Everybody will lose their jobs because there simply won't be a need for them to drive. Another funny thing, though, when you think about it, and this is not so obvious, is right now they market cars to be appealing to you. Well, you might have a luxury model or a sports model. I'm not so sure on the psyche of people how much they're going to want to put into mind when they can't even control the car. It's just sort of a box that gets you from A to B. Why?
Well, here's the other thing. It's not really you that's going to own it. If you're saying that people are just going to pick up the phone and basically summons it, to get them to work and come back.
Let's say you just had once a week you needed a car. That would fit in nicely. But if you were a commuter, every day.
Yeah.
You might have used to care what your car looked like, but are you really going to care now when you're not really sort of, not immersed. What I mean is, it's not an extension of your personality because you can't really drive it.
Yeah.
You're not think about all these people who drive like madmen who won't be able to do this anymore.
Well,
do they really want a tough sports model car?
That goes with our age group. That's just how we view it. The next generations up and coming, if they're coming into the era with that, they're going to be
Well-
born that way and not even give it a second
Well,
thought.
I think we both agree. I think we both agree that if driverless cars do indeed come, especially starting in 4 years, and if they start, there probably won't be an end to it. There will be changes in our society, and
Big
probably
ones.
dramatic.
Big ones.
I never thought we would live to see something like this. Talk about being taken for a ride.
I know, really. And a lot of people vent their frustrations out on the roads, but no more. Or it actually may be a good thing.
It ought to be interesting, and maybe a little scary too. When we come back, we'll hear from Allie Marshall as she shares with us her acting and modeling experiences.
Welcome back, everyone. So today we have Allie Danielle Marshall joining us. Hello, Allie.
Hi.
Hey, Allie. Welcome.
She is an actress and a model. We're going to find out what she was first. Were you an actress or a model first?
Well, I actually started with modeling. I was in college and a local photographer had reached out and asked if I had ever modeled. And I hadn't, so I was curious and I just went for a shoot. And then I just posted the photos on social media, and a local director had actually contacted me and said that I fit the physical bill of what he was imagining for one of his characters in a movie. And so I was interested and I said, well, I would absolutely love an opportunity to do it, why not? And at the time I was going to school for kinesthetics, so I thought I would maybe do athletic training or something like that, because I've always been good at things like that. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't really something that I could see myself doing every single day. And then when I went on the set, I just completely fell in love with it and realized that acting was my passion and that I should pursue that as my craft.
What did you love the most?
The people and the constant energy around me. So it's one of those things when you're on a film set, everyone is doing something and the entire thing is just a collaboration. So there's not a single person that's considered, useless. And not that that happens a lot anywhere else, but on a film set, every single person is utilized in a certain way. And I like that feeling where you're contributing to something. And I like that you get to go and be a certain character, and that part of yourself is always in a character, but you can also make something else out of yourself for however long the take is. And I just really like that.
So
Something about it.
you said you started off modeling
Yes.
before acting.
Yes.
And you started off when you were an adult.
Yeah.
So you didn't do it as a child or as
No.
a preteen or whatever.
When I was younger, my mom asked if I ever wanted to do modeling, and I had done a pageant when I was little, but just because I asked her, I said, hey, can I try this? Because I saw my friends had done it. And it just wasn't really for me at the time. I tried it, she supported it, and then I just was more into sports. I've done martial arts for the past 11 years of my life. I did cheerleading when I was younger. I tried soccer and all sorts of things. So I was always keeping myself busy in that end, that I was just like, it's not really for me. And then, like I said, when I got older, it just kind of happened, and I realized that I loved it.
So it sounds like the modeling was pretty quick before you got into the movies.
Yeah, it was like maybe 3 months prior.
Oh, wow, that is short-lived.
Yeah.
But you've also done a bunch of other different capacities on the set, too. You're not only in front of the camera, you've done things behind the camera, too.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's very important when you're involved in film. You need to watch films and study films. You need to train your craft. You need to take classes, do all sorts of things. But it's also, I think, really key to get on the other side of the lens and see how it works. So it works with modeling, too. You should know how lights work so you know which way to face and what's flattering and what isn't. And it also has given me a huge appreciation for people who are production assistants or anything like that, because it's so intense, it's constant movement, there's never any time where they can just sit around and relax. And as an actress, like, sometimes I get that privilege, especially if it's extra work or between takes and they're setting up the next shot, whatever it is, I can relax and almost sit and whether it's get ready for the next scene or decompress, whatever it is I'm doing, a lot of them don't get. So seeing that on both sides has really given me that sort of appreciation and a little more understanding of it.
Well, and it's hurry up and wait. You know, you might be in one room where you're waiting for your stuff to go on, but there's so much going on in other places, and it could take hours for all that to happen. What's the longest day that you've had on the set?
16 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty average, though.
Yeah.
Now, you
It
union, non-union?
I'm actually SAG eligible. So that happened last year. I was Taft-Hart lead on a film, which I was very fortunate to even have that happen. I didn't expect to be eligible for years just because it's very hard to get a voucher unless you have a speaking part on a union film, which doesn't come that easily unless it's the right opportunity. So I auditioned for a film that was for union only, did it anyway.
And you weren't
and
union.
I wasn't union.
That's what taking chances is all about,
Yeah.
So you
right?
got paid at union wages though for that. That
Which
must have been
again
nice.
was something I had never experienced. And I had speaking lines, which is like drastically different.
And
in price.
unheard of, really.
And unheard of.
You-
So,
as a non-union actress, you got to do lines in a union-only movie,
yeah, and
which
then
you
it
had to sign the
premiered on
tab-
Lifetime,
hardly, yeah.
which was very exciting.
Oh my goodness. Now, have
Yeah.
you seen it?
I have. And a lot of it was actually surreal when it came on, just because my name was on the TV guide, which was crazy.
Really?
And, yeah, and it
That's-
was just like,
Wow.
I don't know, I
That-
just didn't expect something like that. And it's not the like biggest deal in the world, but that was the biggest success for me so far at that, so and my friends were taking pictures of it, and I had promoted it on social media, and I wanted people to know that it was happening and that it was on. And I was shocked at how many people were supporting me and watching it and sending pictures or whatever it was. I was just so humbled and flattered by everyone that they would take the time to just on a Saturday night sit at home and watch Lifetime because I was on it.
Now, Allie, I've taken a look at your profile, and you have an impressive body of work. You really do.
Thank you so
Now,
much.
Without mentioning ages here, how long have you been going at this? It sounds like you haven't been really involved.
2.5 years.
That's amazing. I find
Yeah.
that really amazing.
Thank you so
I
much.
really
That's a
do.
lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a lot in a short time. I mean,
Thank you.
if anybody was to see her portfolio, it's pretty
I have
impressive.
Very
32
accomplished.
credits right now, whether it's short films, TV, features, things like that.
Will you move over to union soon?
I'm thinking of it. I'm hoping to be in New York by the end of 2017. Once I go there, that's when I plan to join the union.
So you're going to leave the local industry around here.
And all your friends here.
The good thing is New York's not LA yet, so I'm not, switching coasts. I'm just
Yeah.
kind of, it's a bus away.
Yeah.
So it's a nice transition.
Hopefully you'll come back and see us after your career
course.
takes off.
Don't forget us.
I
Oh,
know.
you know I love seeing you guys. I mean, we've worked on sets before. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I know.
And
You have a
hopefully
lot of
again
energy
sometime.
that you bring.
Our
I
chemistry
love it.
is definitely there.
Yeah, definitely.
All three of us have a lot of energy to offer.
So I'm hearing a little buzz through the grapevine
Yes.
Ooh.
that
Bird has been
you
singing.
got called back for America's Next Top Model.
I did. That was another one of those things where I wasn't sure if maybe I should do it because, why not? But I didn't send in anticipating, I wasn't sitting around waiting for my email, because it was one of those things where I send it, I do that a lot with auditions. You send it in, then you say, okay, I'm gonna forget about it, and if I hear back, great. If not, it's okay. And then I got an email, and I was just like, because I really wasn't expecting it. I'm 5'6", which is the bare minimum, and I'm more of a print as opposed to runway model in the past, just because runway is typically taller and certain look. Or people will call them hanger models because anything that's on a hanger fits perfectly,
Yeah.
But I went for it and I got a call back, and now's the point where I just take it forward and see what happens from here and send something else in and wait to hear back.
This
Wow.
is awesome.
Yeah,
And you have some upcoming movies too.
I do.
Hopefully we'll be working together.
I can't wait to announce all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
But I
Good
take
for
it
you.
you
Vegas
can't
and
talk
LA.
about all. Oh, can you?
No, I can only say that some are in Vegas and some are in LA. Sadly, I've signed an NDA, which is a non-disclosure
Disclosure agreement.
So I can't say too much, but I'm very excited to be able to fill everyone in. When
But I
can.
do know another project that she's going to be working on called Against the Ropes. That's a movie that's coming out that you're going to be
I know someone
a
else is
lead.
going to be in it.
A lead in that one, you will.
I'm very excited about that.
Yes.
Is this a boxing movie?
It is.
Because
It
against the
is.
role, I'm just guessing.
It is. Yeah.
And I'm playing a very emotional, personal role. And I'm beyond excited, but also a little bit nervous in that sense where I know it's a lot to take on, and I really want to do everything I can to bring this role justice.
Yeah, because it's a true story too.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
people will have to wait and see and watch it for
Now, when
themselves.
you accept a role like that, do you have, I don't want to say self-doubts, but do you get nervous about it? Are you going to be able to pull it off? And,
Well,
or
when
would
you
you like to be challenged on these? Yeah.
It's both. So I love to be challenged. I love to take on roles that are either far from my personal character or something that is really touchy and tough to bring into light. But when it comes to real stories or something that's based on a true character or a real life event, it's a little tough because you don't want to bring it in the wrong light. You don't want to focus on the wrong thing, or you don't want to misrepresent what the person was about or what they stood for or anything like that. So it's one of those things where you just have to be very careful and truly study and speak to the people who knew them or things like that. So it's taking the right steps.
Well, I only talk from my own experience on the set with her, that I know that she'll do an excellent job with an emotional situation. So
Thank you, Anne.
I'm looking forward to seeing that, and I hope everyone else at home watches it too.
Thank you so much.
And come back afterwards,
Of
after it
course.
premieres, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
can't
follow
wait.
up. Let's see how you're doing.
Definitely, and with
I
the
would love to.
modeling.
That's
Thank
it.
you so
haven't
much.
become too big to talk to us.
Oh, is that bad?
If she forgets us,
Remember your
no.
friends,
Of course.
where it all started.
You know I love you guys.
We love you too, and thank you so much for joining us today,
Thank
Allie.
you for having
Yes,
me.
Alex, so good to
Good
see
luck
you
with
again.
everything.
Thank you.
And congratulations on that really impressive portfolio. I'm not just
Thank you
saying
so
it.
much.
It's really quite
Truly,
a body
thank
of work.
you.
You're welcome.
Wow. Allie's a bundle of energy and enthusiastic, and it's not hard to see why. She's really enjoying her success in the acting and modeling world. If you'd like to follow Allie, you can follow her on Facebook at Allie Danielle Marshall.
And now, we would like to close out our show with a special appreciation of something very positive from our community. Anne?
Tonight, we present the Plymouth Police K-9 Unit. The Plymouth Police K-9 Unit has been providing a four-legged element to the policing since the 1950s, noting countless arrests and drug seizures over the years. However, the K-9 Unit was suspended in the late 1980s, only to be reestablished in March of 2010 under the command of Chief Michael Botieri.
In March 2010, at the time, Patrolman Mark Higgins was partnered with a yellow Labrador retriever named Shirley. Canine Shirley was one of many dogs found wandering the streets of Tennessee after the area was severely damaged by flooding and tornadoes. After several months being in shelters, the wayward dogs were given a new purpose in life as police dogs around the country. Plymouth was fortunate enough to be one of these communities where Canine Shirley went from being homeless to being the newest member of the Plymouth Police Department.
Canine Shirley and Patrolman Higgins attended the 10-week Canine Narcotic Detection School, where they both completed training, and Shirley was the first passively trained drug dog in the town of Plymouth. Canine Shirley was trained in numerous narcotics and quickly was put to use battling the heroin epidemic, which was becoming an epidemic throughout the United States. Canine Shirley displayed such high energy and a likeness to people that a new training program was created. Canine Shirley and Higgins began training in locating missing persons. Shirley was trained in human odors and capitalizing on her natural ability to air scent for birds. Shirley was used to locate persons lost in the woods, whether it be a missing child, a lost hiker, or a lost person suffering from Alzheimer's. More notably, almost 2 weeks upon receiving this new training, Canine Shirley located a missing child who became lost in the woods behind his house.
Today, Canine Shirley is still out patrolling the streets of Plymouth. However, she is now partnered with Patrolman Michael Glauca after Chief Botieri expanded the K-9 unit. Patrolman James LeBreton joined the unit and was teamed with K-9 Kaiser, a single-purpose German Shepherd assigned to the patrol division. K-9 Kaiser and Patrolman LeBreton attended the 16-week K-9 Academy, where they were trained in apprehension of fleeing criminals, personal protection, and evidence detection.
K-9 Kaiser was donated by the Stove family from Duxbury after coming to terms their house pet was meant for a different calling. Together, K-9 Kaiser and Patrolman LeBreton found countless criminals, missing persons, and ensured the protection of the other officers working the streets of Plymouth. Directly related to K-9 Kaiser and Patrolman LeBreton's success, the K-9 unit was expanded once again. Patrolman Michael Glauca became K-9 Shirley's new partner, and Patrolman Higgins was assigned to the newest member of the PPD, K-9 Kane, a Belgian Malinois Dutch Shepherd. They joined the streets after completing the training in May of 2012.
All three dogs were also assigned to the Metro-Lec K-9 unit, where they provided assistance to communities around Plymouth and throughout Massachusetts. Whether it be K-9 Shirley searching for missing person and drugs, or K-9 Kane and K-9 Kaiser helping the other towns with the apprehension of the criminal element. K9 and Patrolman Higgins were also attached to the Metro Lec SWAT team.
More notably, in April of 2013, after the Boston Marathon bombings and suspected terrorists still at large, K9 Kane and Patrolman Higgins were sent to assist Boston PD and Watertown PD in the search. Patrolman LeBreton and K9 Kaiser were also assigned to provide security in Boston during the visit from President Barack Obama in the aftermath of those bombings.
Unfortunately, in May 2013, K9 Kaiser fell ill to an untreatable kidney disease and needed to be euthanized. However, this did not go without touching millions of people around the world after a memorable photograph of his last day was captured by the Old Colony Memorial. This global recognition of K9 Kaiser and the Plymouth Police Department K9 unit brought attention to the love and devotion between a police dog and their handler.
Officer LeBreton was later assigned K9 Kalen, the litter mate to Patrolman Higgins' partner, K9 Kane, where all three K9 teams provided round-the-clock patrols to the town of Plymouth and its surrounding communities.
Well, that does it.
Good night, God bless, and have wonderful happenings in your lives.
Until next time, I'm Peter.
I'm Ann.
Good
Good
night.
night.